Love the question, because it is possible. You definitely need to be self-aware, otherwise, you probably wouldn't even be asking the question, but it's possible. I see a lot of commentary from others on how to reflect on an interview after the fact to improve for the next one, but instead, I'll focus on what you're most likely asking about, how to course correct in the moment, during an interview. I recommend focusing on 4 main areas. Talking too much. I get it. You want to make sure you tell the hiring manager everything about you. You want to share your skills, your experiences, why you're a good fit for the role. And all those things are vital pieces to share during any interview. However, talking too much in any one interview response is a problem for a few reasons. First, you'll lose the interviewer. Second, the interviewer, hiring manager will assume you can't prioritize. And third, you'll run out of time. So, what to do about it? First and foremost, prepare ahead of time. This eliminates a lot of the reasons why we ramble, not being prepared. Recognize the warning signs in the moment the interviewers keep checking their watch, the time they make comments like, "In the interest of time." You, yourself, feel like you've been rambling, take action. If you notice or feel any of these, shorten your answers. If the hiring manager needs more info, they'll ask. Also, feel free to address this head-on with something like, "I realize I just spoke for a while and shared a lot of information. Here's the main point," and summarize to make sure the key point doesn't get lost. Not directly answering the question. This can be easy to do. The problem is that the interviewer doesn't get what they need and you miss out on sharing important information. What to do about it? Pay attention to what they're looking for. Look behind the question and be intentional with what you're actually sharing. Refer back to the question later in the interview. If you think you missed the mark, feel free to address it directly later with something like, "The more I think about our conversation about how I influence others, I realized that while I provided an example, I never shared my typical process framework for how I go about doing that. Here's what I do." Forgetting to share a critical example before leaving. Similar to number 2, make sure you address this head-on. You can do this. During another questions response time, use the time at the end when the interviewers ask you, "Do you have any questions for us?" This is your time, don't waste it. Use it to cover anything you forgot or need to change. Giving a bad answer in general. If you think you didn't hit the mark or the interviewer keeps asking follow-up questions to your answer, and trust me, this is a sign they're not getting what they needed or wanted, then here's what you can do in the moment. Acknowledge it out loud. You could say something like, "Now that I've thought this through a little more while thinking out loud, I'd like to take my answer in a different direction." You could also take the same approach to #2 to 3 above, but doing it in the moment is more effective. Hope that helps.